Welcome back. We are continuing our journey through Genevieve Barron's work, specifically her book, Your-Invisible Power.
And it really is one of the most practical guides out there. It's less about mysticism and, more about mechanics.
Like an owner's manual for the mind.
Exactly. If you understand the parts, you can drive the car.
And today, we're at a really crucial part of that manual, episode 11. The focus is on a word that carries a lot of baggage for people. That word is faith. But also, and maybe more importantly, the role of action, what she calls faith with works.
And I think we need to be really clear right from the start.
Please.
When we say faith here, we are not talking about a religious concept. We're not talking about blind hope or, wishing on a star and waiting for a miracle.
Which is how this stuff is so often presented, isn't it?
It is, unfortunately. But that's not what Barron is teaching. We're talking about mental engineering.
The architecture of the mind.
Yes. So in this context, faith isn't some fleeting emotion. It's a trained inner state. Her specific definition is ordered mentality.
Ordered mentality. That already feels so different. It sounds almost clinical.
Well, it makes it a skill. It moves it from something you just hope to have to something you can actually build.
Yeah.
A psychological tool that stabilizes the mind.
Okay, so the problem we're really looking at today is that most people feel they lack that. They think, I just don't have enough faith to fix this problem.
Right. But here's the twist Barron introduces, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
She says everyone has faith, an immense amount of it.
Wait, everyone?
Everyone. The problem isn't the amount of faith you have. The problem is the direction you're pointing it. You're likely using it in reverse.
Using it in reverse. Okay, before we get into how to flip that switch, I just want to say to everyone listening, if this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
It genuinely helps us keep this conversation going.
So let's dig into that idea. Using faith in reverse. This takes us to the first big concept, the nature of faith and fear.
Right.
And Barron says something that sounds like a total paradox. She says, fear is faith.
It sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? We're taught that they're polar opposites.
Light and dark, yeah.
But from a mechanical standpoint, inside the engine of the mind, she argues they are the exact same force.
Okay, I have to be the devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
If I'm awake at 3 in the morning, my heart is pounding, I'm terrified I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah.
That feels awful.
Of course.
To tell me that feeling is faith seems, I don't know, a little dismissive, like you're blaming me for my own anxiety.
I completely get that. It can sound that way if we don't look at the mechanics of what's happening.
Okay.
So think about it. 3 in the morning, your heart is racing. What are you seeing in your mind's eye?
Oh, I'm seeing everything. The meeting with my boss, the look on their face. I'm seeing myself packing up my desk. I can practically hear the conversation.
Exactly. You are visualizing. You're creating a high-definition, emotionally charged movie of a future you don't want. You are pouring intense belief, absolute conviction into the idea that this negative outcome is not only possible, but probable.
So I'm using all this creative power to build my own personal horror film.
Precisely. And that's what faith is. Faith is just the vitality, the living power that you give to a belief. It's the fuel. When you're in a state of fear, you're just pouring that fuel onto the wrong fire.
So the argument is that the mental muscle I'm using to scare myself half to death is the exact same muscle I would use to build something positive.
It is the exact same muscle, and that's why this is actually empowering, not dismissive. It means you don't have a broken mind.
Right.
If you are a chronic worrier, you are actually a master of faith. You're an expert visualizer. You're just pointing the projector at the wrong movie.
That's a huge reframe. It goes from I'm broken to I'm just misdirected.
And this isn't some new idea. I mean, this goes back centuries. The Stoics were all over this. We have notes here on Cato and Seneca.
Right. Cato had that line, cease to hope and you will cease to fear, which honestly sounds
bleak.
Incredibly bleak.
Yeah.
Like, just give up.
It does, until you see the psychology behind it. Seneca explained that hope and fear are two sides of the same coin. They're both projections into a future you don't control.
And they both steal your attention from the present moment.
They both rob you of the present. They are both acts of the imagination. So the fix isn't to get faith from somewhere else. It's to redirect the faith you already have.
You just have to turn the spotlight.
You move it from fear, which is disorder, to a created outcome, which is order.
So the big takeaway here is fear is faith in the negative.
Once you really get that, you can catch yourself in the act. You can feel that anxiety spike and say, wow, look at all this power. Look how real I just made that feel. Now, what if I use that same intensity on what I actually want?
Okay. So we have the power, we're just pointing it the wrong way. Here's the hurdle, though. How do you actually increase the positive side? Because it feels really hard sometimes to just believe harder. It feels like I'm lying to myself.
And you are. Your brain should reject it because believing harder is just trying to force an emotion.
Right, gritting your teeth.
It's straining. But Barron's method for this is, well, it's not emotional, it's empirical.
Empirical, so based on evidence.
Exactly. You don't force a feeling. You increase your faith by observing what faith does. You look at your own track record. She has a very specific instruction for this.
What is?
She says, recall times you did, not times you only hoped.
Recall times you did. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means you have to build an evidence file of your own successes. Most of us have this massive negativity bias.
Oh yeah, the blooper reel of my life is always playing in my head.
In perfect 4K, right? While the highlight reel is in a dusty box in the attic.
Exactly.
So to increase faith, you have to consciously go into that attic. You have to find the evidence of the times you faced a doubt, you had a challenge, and you actually overcame it.
You know, this sounds so much like modern psychology. It reminds me of the work of Albert Bandura.
It's pure Bandura. Absolutely. His whole concept of self-efficacy.
Which is basically your confidence in your own ability to handle things.
Right. But the key thing Bandura found was that you can't just talk yourself into it. Pep talks are weak. They're flimsy.
They evaporate to the first sign of trouble.
Right. The gold standard, the thing that actually rewires your belief system, is what he called mastery experiences.
So you have to prove it to yourself.
You have to prove it to your own nervous system. He did these famous snake phobia studies. He'd take people who were terrified of snakes. He didn't just tell them snakes are nice. He'd have them stand outside a room with a snake in a cage. Just watch. That's step one.
Okay, tiny steps.
Infinitesimally small steps. Then they'd stand in the doorway. Then they'd step into the room. Then they'd touch the glass.
And with each step, the brain has to update its prediction model.
Exactly. The brain says, oh, I thought that would be catastrophic, but it wasn't. I'm actually capable of this. That's a mastery experience, and that's what Barron is asking us to do internally.
So you mentally revisit the time you were terrified to give that speech, but you did it.
Yes. Or the time you didn't think you could learn that new skill for work, but you figured it out. You're building a legal case for your own competence.
So when doubt shows up and says, you can't do this, you don't argue with it.
You present evidence. You say, objection. See Exhibit A, the time I learned to drive. See Exhibit B, the time I navigated that difficult conversation. You stack the evidence.
And these don't have to be huge Nobel Prize-winning achievements, right?
No, not at all. Small wins are just as powerful for the brain. I cooked a new recipe. I fixed the leaky faucet. The scale doesn't matter. The mechanism does.
So we recall times we succeeded. That stabilizes the mind. Now what? How does this stable mind interact with the world? This brings us to nature responds.
The idea of reciprocal action.
Barron says we need to make life respond. But I think there's a huge trap here that most people fall into. I call it the vending machine mindset.
Oh, the cosmic vending machine. I put in my visualization coin, I press the faith button, and my desire drops into the tray.
And when the candy bar doesn't appear in 5 minutes, they kick the machine and say, this stuff doesn't work.
Right. But the universal mind, or nature, or whatever you want to call it, it creates through us, not just for us.
Okay, that's a critical distinction. Through us. Unpack that.
When your mind is ordered, when it's in that steady state of positive faith, nature responds. But that response rarely looks like magic. It looks like an idea.
An idea.
Yes. Or an opportunity, a prompt. You're in the shower, and suddenly you just know how to solve a problem at work. Or you get a sudden urge to call an old friend you haven't spoken to in years.
And that friend happens to know someone who can help you.
Exactly. The response is grounded. It shows up in the real world, looking like a normal event, which is why you have to be ready for it.
And this is where Barron gives that big warning about mental hurry.
The no hurry rule. This is so hard for us today.
It is. We're told to hustle, move fast, break things. Why is hurry so damaging here?
Well, we have to separate physical speed from mental hurry. You can act quickly while being mentally calm. Mental hurry is a state of anxiety. It's a symptom of fear.
How so?
Think about why you're rushing mentally. It's because you believe there isn't enough time, or you believe the opportunity will vanish, or that someone else will get it first.
It's a belief in scarcity.
It's the emotional signature of scarcity. So if you're broadcasting, I don't have enough, I'm running out of time, the law, being reciprocal, has to give you more conditions that match that. More delays, more obstacles.
Wow. So rushing actually slows you down. The old saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Precisely. A faithful mind is steady. Barron says to look at nature. The law of gravity doesn't hurry, it just works consistently.
Nature responds through you, but it needs that steady, calm signal.
Not a frantic, panicked one.
This all leads to the bridge, the part that connects the inner world to the outer. Faith with works.
Faith without works is dead.
That famous biblical quote. So how do we apply this without falling into the trap of just forcing things, straining?
That's the paradox, isn't it? But think of it this way. The works, the action, is the necessary outlet for the energy you've built up with your faith.
An outlet, like an electrical wire.
Exactly like that. Faith is the generator, building up all this potential energy. But if you don't connect a wire and a light bulb to it, the action, that energy has nowhere to go. It just dissipates.
So faith provides the direction.
And action provides the traction. It conducts the power.
And there's modern science that backs this up, right?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
The work of Peter Gollwitzer on implementation intentions.
The if-then planning.
Yes. He found that motivation or faith isn't enough. We fail because we don't have a trigger for our action. What works is deciding in advance. If situation X happens, then I will perform action Y.
It automates the decision.
It takes willpower out of the equation, and that's what works are. Not frantic, desperate effort, but calm, consistent actions that align with your belief.
Barron's line is so powerful here. Action is the proof of belief.
That's the ultimate test, isn't it? If you say you believe you're a writer, but you haven't written anything in a month, do you really believe it?
Yeah.
If you say you believe you're a healthy person while you're eating junk food on the sofa, your body's actions are contradicting your mind's belief.
And that contradiction creates static. It cancels the signal.
It does, but again, there's that balance. She warns against strenuous effort.
Right.
Because strenuous effort implies you're fighting against something. You're trying to force a door open. That's a position of resistance.
So the alternative is?
Inspired action. Which implies flow. It's the feeling that because you are this person, of course you do these things. You don't write to become a writer. You write because you are one. See the shift.
It's subtle, but it's everything. One feels like pushing a boulder uphill. The other feels like coasting downhill.
Action is proof of belief. When the belief is solid, the action feels natural.
Okay, let's make this super practical. Let's break it down into 3 areas: work, relationships, and habits.
Let's do it.
First, work. Someone wants a promotion or is trying to land a big client. What does faith with works look like?
Okay. The faith part is that steady internal conviction that your value is real and the outcome is certain. You're not desperate.
And the works, the action.
Consistent, calm execution. You send the excellent proposal, you make the call, but you do it with what I'd call calm authority.
As opposed to the fear-based action, which is?
Sending the proposal, then emailing 2 hours later to just check in, then calling the next morning. That energy screams desperation.
And faith-based action is sending it and then trusting the seed is planted.
Exactly. You're ready to respond, but you're not hovering. Steady faith equals consistent execution.
Okay, example 2, relationships. This is a tough one.
The hardest for most people.
What do faith with works look like here?
The faith is holding the image of a healthy, loving connection even when things are messy right now. It's believing in your own worthiness.
And the works. Because you can't control the other person.
You can't. The work is your own chosen response. Let's say your partner says something that triggers you. The fear-based reaction is to snap back.
Right, get defensive.
The faith-based action is to pause. To regulate your own emotions to match your vision. You use repair language. You might say, hey, when you said that it hurt, can we talk about it? The work is showing respect even when you're under stress.
You act like the person you want to be in the relationship you want to have.
You model the reality you want to inhabit.
Okay, third one,
Yeah.
habits. Getting fit, for example, the classic failure point. How does this method apply?
The faith is an identity shift. You stop saying, I'm trying to get fit. You start embodying the identity. I am a healthy, athletic person.
And the works?
The work is the identity-based routine. You keep that routine even when your feelings fluctuate. When the alarm goes off and you don't feel like it,
You get up anyway.
you get up, not because you're motivated, but because that's what healthy people do. You go to the gym not to get fit, but to prove to yourself that you are fit.
Routines outlast fluctuating feelings.
That's the whole game.
All right, I want to walk everyone through a quick exercise right now. Let's call it the Faith to Works Bridge. It's 5 quick steps.
Takes less than a minute.
Step 1, choose one clear inner picture. What's the finished state?
Just one thing. Keep it focused.
Step 2. Choose one feeling word. What's the feeling of the wish fulfilled? Calm, courage, clarity.
This anchors it emotionally.
Step 3. Choose one proof action you will do today.
And make it small. Something that proves you believe this is real. Send one email, tidy one drawer, walk for 5 minutes.
Step 4. Identify one contradiction you will start feeding. What negative thought or habit will you cut off today?
This is huge. Stop complaining about it. Stop checking for results every 5 minutes.
And finally, step 5. Identify one prompt. Make a deal with yourself. If an idea comes, you will act on it.
You're telling the universe you're open for business.
And then just close with a calm recommitment to the practice. I'm doing this.
Simple, but it connects the two worlds.
Okay, before we recap, let's troubleshoot. 5 common mistakes people make.
Let's do it.
Mistake 1. Mental hurry.
The fix. Recognize it as fear, name it, then deliberately slow down your actions to calm your mind.
Mistake 2. Looking for signs too soon.
That's digging up the seed. You plant your intention, then you keep checking on it, which kills it. The fix. Trust the incubation period, do your part, then let it go.
Mistake 3. The inverted thought.
Thinking of the lack instead of from the abundance. The fix. Flip it. Inhabit the feeling of the wish fulfilled now.
Mistake 4. Straining the will.
The white knuckle approach. The fix. Remember, will is for holding focus, not for forcing reality. Be a steady spotlight, not a battering ram.
And mistake 5. Ignoring prompts.
The most tragic one. You ask for guidance, an idea comes, and you ignore it because it looks like work. The fix. When the idea comes, move. Hesitation kills momentum.
Will holds focus, not force. I love that.
It changes everything.
Okay, let's do a quick recap. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
First, faith isn't a mood. It's a trained, ordered inner state.
Right. It's a skill.
Second, fear is just your faith pointed at something you don't want.
Same power, wrong direction.
We increase faith by recalling our past wins, building that evidence file.
Using those mastery experiences.
Nature then responds to that inner order with ideas and opportunities.
It creates through you.
And we have to meet those opportunities with faith with works.
Action completes the circuit.
And that consistent action is what stabilizes the mind and reduces the inner contradiction. And the reward for all this, it's inner mastery. It's a life that responds to you.
A responsive life, not a resistant one. That's the goal.
This sets us up perfectly for our next session, episode 12.
It does.
We're tackling a big one. How to pray or ask, believing you have already received.
This is where we get into mental time travel. How to feel the reality of the wish fulfilled before any physical evidence shows up. It's the core of the whole practice.
I can't wait for that one.
It's going to be good.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist. And please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.